audiences are the die-hard fans, but for some of the audiences they are amateurs, but they are very interested in the Go game. We will use the replay to share with you all the strategies, all the tactics that is happening in the competition. And what is the beauty of the AI now? Let's wait for a few seconds, and I will lead you and find more interesting things. Right now, we are seeing quite a few competition between human brains and AI. We are seeing teams is still in the process of competing, and tomorrow we'll have other sections. Right here, we are seeing the competition between different teams. There's quite a few pre-calculation. The technicians and employees two players from China are competing against each other. They are competing with AlphaGo and GE. And they spent quite a long time in this round. We have more to go, more to see. We could imagine what is happening now. For this time, it is a competition between AI and players. It's following the same logistics of the Golaxy, and we can imagine what will be the details. For this trip, Golaxy is quite like the computer-backed one. The moves, the touches will be precisely calculated out. We can imagine all the algorithms, all the paragraphs. Golaxy is quite like the computer-backed algorithm. It is a calculation system. On the big screen, we can see the display between柯洁, the 9th-ranking player, and Golaxy components.
我们刚才在现场的话，远距离观察柯洁的时候呢，他的表情还是比较严肃的。可能平常的时候看他可能是一副面无表情的样子，但是今天似乎是有一些的样子。这个不知道是不是我们自己在旁边观察之后的一个解读。
As observers, you might be even more nervous than the players. If we have a closer look over the past 1 hour or so, I can feel the continuality between the two. They'll move on.
好，我们到观棋室，我们向我们的专业嘉宾来。
I want to ask a few questions to the professionals. Most of the fans know quite well that Mr.柯洁was competing with AlphaGo last year. They entered into a 3-session competition, and Mr.柯洁lost to AlphaGo. He promised that he would not compete to AI anymore, but for this time he changed his mind. Previously, he held the opinion that human brains cannot compete with AI.柯洁, on several occasions, made it very clear that he might not have high possibility to win the AI. As a player, he would challenge the stronger component. That is a very natural thing to understand. See who joined us, he broke his promise and entered into this round of competition with Golaxy. Golaxy is created by Chinese team. Now, please follow me. The explanation begins. And we are seeing the audiences, the professional who are giving us explanation on the replay on the post-game analysis. The Galaxy is playing quite steadfastly. It's not like human brains. In the second round of competing, we are finding a lot of advantages of the AI. We could feel the atmosphere of the scenario. We have double window for you to give you more information. Most of the audiences have no idea about the logics and the rules of the Go, but they're very interested in competition between humans and AI. Previously, Ke Shishi and Ke Jie were playing against AlphaGo and AlphaZero respectively. For this time, he entered into another round of competition. As the perspective of a professional player, how did you evaluate the relations between the two? Good afternoon. As a professional player, we are also feeling a lot from the competition between Li Shishi and AlphaGo. Before the competition, we did not have too much understanding towards AI. We feel that we're very confident, we're very safe. We did not expect that AI could beat human brains. We did not have that expectation. We have strong self-esteem and confidence, but ever since the competition took place with the outcome that human brains was outsmarted, we feel very much alarmed. Starting from that moment, we feel very much surprised, and now we gradually feel very comfortable to the fact AI is a synergy of the technologies made by humans. Personally speaking, I'm much more into a kind of admiration and adoration of the AI instead of being beaten or feel shame for. AI is the fruit made by human brains. We have to embrace it and enjoy it or respect it. AI is growing very fast. It's really hard for us to say who is the winner, who is the loser. We also talked about Ke Jie and his choice to compete with AI for this time. We have a question for you from the audiences. The question is about when the AI is playing the Go, will it follow the rules and the logistics or the logic of human brain? Both. The AI will learn the rules of human beings over the last thousands of years, and the AI is collecting wisdom from the humankind. It does happen, but more often than not, over 0.5% of the wisdom comes from something out of our expectation and is totally different from what we thought of or we were educated with. That's to say, AI is different from us. However, the thing is, different AIs have different algorithms or characters. With different features, some AIs is moving very ambitiously or aggressively. It takes a long time for you to understand it. For certain AI, they are learning from the human rules and moves, so we find it much more easier for us to understand. Yes, the move is quite human-like, so we have to understand one AI from another. It's like human player, everyone has different character from their own education background or their personal experience. I also saw some report that柯洁, before he can, thought AI is unbeatable, so he will not come and compete with AI. He even cried during last round of in defeat, but for this time he felt very relaxed. He knew that AI is very hard to be outsmarted, but he could enjoy the competition instead of winning the AI. It's not only about to win and to lose. AlphaGo is collecting the wisdom of the human professionals. AlphaGo is developing much faster than that of humankind. As a human player, I don't think it's very easy for you to outsmart AI, but we are looking for the joy, the wisdom, the secrets behind Go to challenge someone stronger is the mission of the journey. Find a stronger component. That is why and how you will grow. So I admire柯洁. A few more words about AlphaGo. AlphaGo has a perfect algorithm system. It has strong capacity to coordinate in different elements. But it does not guarantee that AlphaGo is the god of the Go. And by no means he is the absolutely right player. AlphaGo stops his research on the Go. Prior to that, AlphaGo is keeping the evolving. And as human player, you also have possibility, small it is, to beat AlphaGo. Human players are also developing our brains and our skills, but we are a little bit slower. The thing is, the fact is, the machines cannot feel the joy and the sense of satisfaction, but humans can. We challenge a stronger opponent, we feel the happiness and the pride within.柯洁is very admirable from my point of view. I do admire him. So let's go back to the competition. It's been over an hour.
1 hour is not very long for the Go match. So what's your comment for the current competition? Who is taking the advantage,柯洁or Golaxy? For current stage, it's the fierce competition at the middle game. From my perspective,柯洁is trying to pick up, but Galaxy is controlling the game. That's the situation. At the opening, AI created the new way, and it took the new way at the opening game.柯洁is familiar with this way. He knew about the way of AlphaGo. But currently, the situation is controlled by the other side, not柯洁. his so at the final stage, he needs to pick up.
现在看他能不能利用这个，能够给 AI 带来一些麻烦。
He needs to take the advantage of the final stage and to create some hurdles for AI. Can you predict the result just from your personal opinion? What the trend and what the result will be? Thing can happen. The current situation is very complex.柯洁is the top player among human beings. If it is human player, no one can win him, but the AI can control the game. The later the stage is, the AI has the more ability to win. So we still see AI is probably to win. As we mentioned, AI is not perfect now. It can take full use of its wisdom, and柯洁can also take his own wisdom to create hurdles and difficulties for AI. We are looking forward to that winning moment, but no matter winning or losing, as long as the game is rich and interesting, we can learn from that. Let's talk about artificial intelligence. I learned that Golaxy played with other Go players, and it is independently developed by us Chinese. And one of the features of Golaxy is it hadn't been pushed to learn. And comparing to AlphaGo, Golaxy has the different ways of algorithm. Do you have anything to share? I don't know much about it. I can simply introduce you some. You can also learn that from the website. The prototype of Golaxy is from Tsinghua University. They optimize the current algorithm and improve the algorithm system and reduce some bugs. And they add some unique algorithm which has already generated a new algorithm. That's my understanding. So the way of Golaxy is more similar to human players. In the past, once the AI is about to win, it will play randomly. But now it's changed. The AI is pursuing the perfect way of the Go. That's my understanding. I heard that Golaxy's way of Go is more similar to human players. It joined 30 games and win 28 of them. Some of the top Korean Go players also joined the competition. Although human players won for 2 times, it is different on the equal basis. They are on the equal basis, but for the previous 30 competitions of Golaxy Online, it handicapped some points at first. And for the traditional game, the black stones go first. It's just like the football game. You can handicap 1 point and you will have more chance to win. So the AI during the past 30 competitions, it handicap points. And in this way, only 2 of the professional top players won. So we still feel surprised, and we really respect the technology. So you mean the 2 winlings are under the situation of a handicap, but this time Keje's competition is on the equal basis. It's very fair. So we really expect Keje's performance. As the human players, we know that technology is tremendously improving. But at this very moment, we are looking forward to seeing some miracles. We really hope Keje can overcome himself. If he can win, we take it as a miracle. So we are looking forward to that moment, and hope he can give a very good performance. Let's talk about Keje. Keje has witnessed 5 consecutive wins in the games. He is the youngest champion in the world. That's the record. So what's the style of Keje? Can you comment on that? He's stronger than me. I cannot say it precisely. But for people who don't understand Go, I can brief some. Keje has a very perfect mindset in Go. In recent years, after influenced by AI, his style of playing also improved. Sometimes we're really surprised. We think he's beyond human players. When he was very young, he entered the national team, and he won a widespread high appraisal. He's very good and strong at algorithm. So he has a very solid basic knowledge. And later on, he keeps improving, and he integrated the knowledge from AI. So we think he's really strong and professional. And in future, from the perspective of AI, they cannot enjoy playing the game. And maybe in future there can be interactions between human players and AI. Yes, from my perspective, I haven't taken AI as the enemy. Some people feel worried, feel horrible that they will conquer human players. Yeah, there is chance. And you mentioned the joy of playing the games, just like the Olympics. If we ask robotics to join the competition, that might not be so interesting. Because Go is a competition that can be enjoyed by human beings. For current stage, we cannot predict how strong will the AI be, but it really offers assistance to us now. Like Fine Art from Tencent has been the official partner for our national team. It's just like a tool. Whenever we want to learn knowledge, we search a website and which can improve humans' capability. Go for the current technology, they cannot fully replace Go. players, but there are also space for the AI to be improved, and during this period we can learn from the new technologies we are enjoyed. We think it's very interesting. For people who don't understand the way of Go, you can imagine artificial intelligence can bring us some unimaginable technologies. I can also understand that in some science fictions, AI may replace humans, but this is not our generation's story. We need to keep the way that to take full use of AI, take it as an assistant way. And we see we're at the observation room, and many netizens are watching the live broadcasting. And we can see there is a Go board. They are replaying, and they are analyzing the game between柯洁and the Golaxy, because we need to guarantee the silent atmosphere for the players. So once the game starts, we reporters and journalists need to leave the room. So now we are learning the game through replaying. And we learned that Galaxy is at the winning stage.柯洁is relatively lagging behind. But柯洁sometimes also take very brilliant move. And we will keep on concentrating, following up their competition. Let's take a rest for a little bit, and we transfer to another place and know more about Go and AI and the relation between these two. And we can have more special experiences. Thank you for joining us.
好的，我们现在的话在这里呢，会留下一个摄像机，通过这里的机位啊，来给大家给广大的这个。
Okay, we will leave one camera here. Through this camera, our netizens and Go fans can keep watching the replay. And on the screen, you can also see another camera view. We are going to other rooms of the competition site. Here is the resting room and waiting room. There are some Go fans here. Let's go downstairs.
还要跟大家解释一下的是，这次的咱们的比赛啊，和之前柯洁和 AlphaGo 的那个比赛有所不同的呢是。
In this competition, we find a difference. Previously, they have entered into a 3-session competition and柯洁lost. For this time, we have just 1 session. In this afternoon, we will soon see the outcome. We made some preparation for this time. Golaxy and its development team spent long time to test, and they are having Golaxy to play against with players, but not as competitive as柯洁. They are playing quite slowly. They are playing on an equal and fair ground. Currently, we don't know the outcome, because they have limited time for development and test. During the process of development of Golaxy, they did not invite the strong competitor. The reality is now柯洁was not having advantages over Golaxy, but for the outcome, we do not have the final result yet. Now we are looking at the screen to understand the moves.
场景，因为我们现在所在的这个比赛场地呢，其实是当地的一个就是科技中心的一个展示中心。
And we're going to find other scenarios.
非常特别的一个机器。
We're in the exhibition center of the local science and technology hall. We are seeing a very special machinery.
是一个人工智能的机械臂，他们通过人工智能的
Let's take a closer look.
软件的运
It's
算
an automatic arm. By using AI software and calculation in addition with the arm, it's going to conclude the competition between human players and the machine.
它现在我们看到的我们的人类棋手坐在这边，然后在这个
Now let's go back and find out the rationale. The arm is made up by several parts. Here comes a board, an arm, and on the top,
拍摄下来，录入到电脑里去。这样的话，电脑就知道我们现在下棋的一
a
个
sensor and the camera
然后呢，
to catch up the details of the board and put it on the screen. And the computer and make countermeasure accordingly. The AI is making forecast based on the calculation what will be the next step. And the computer, the software will control the arm. The arm will pick up the stone and place it in certain position.
好，我们的小
And
朋友
the fans are surrounding here to get a closer look. The boy is playing against the arm.
我们的小朋友现在正在和这个机器人工智能 AI 和我们的这个机械臂来进行一个联合的一个对弈。其实咱们的这个整个设备有一个特别之
The
处
boy
呢
is
其实
playing against
是
the
什么我们可以
arm.
看到我们现在这些棋子啊，现在都是散乱的，就是我们正常这个在下棋的时候一个状态，非常散乱的。
The uniqueness
棋盘当中，那它的
is
这个
that
机械臂它可以比较
we are
精确地
seeing that
发
all the
给
stones are
发
widely
给
scattered. They're
示示
placed
出来
on the band
而很
on
多
the
的这个
board.
人工智能
The
它的
arm
这个机
is
械
able
它的有一
to
些机
pick
械臂
up
它的
the
这个
stone
如果精
precisely,
准的话，它可能只能把所有的棋子
accurately.
1、2、3、4非常整齐的排列出来，然后才可以一一的进行识取。
But for
不能像
some
这样的话
AI,
棋子完全是属于
they are
自己
not
的
that
状态
accurately designed.
在
They are unable
这
to
样
pick
在
up
这个
the
棋中把它给识取出来
very stone
那当然
in
现
the
在我们
box
的
of
科技在不
stones.
断研发当中，我们看到刚才
Because all
整个
these
机械臂
stones
还有
are
棋子
in
的这个
are
实物
placed
现
in
在
the box
没有
and
能够
container.
拿到合适的棋子，
This
哎我
arm
们
is
到现在
really
就能正好在
advanced
这个
to finish the
我
task
两部分有
accurately.
混乱的棋子当中拿到它最
It's
合适的
almost
一个棋子，然后把它取出来放到合
Yes,
适的位置上。
he did it.
可以说话，在未来的话，像这样的一个技术呢，也可
He
以
chose the best
我
one
们的
and
其他的一
places
些
into the board
生
onto
产
the
和
board.
生活当中，可以说有各种各样的
In the long run,
工业的生产，甚至一些
the
精密的
specific
这些
arm
设
will
计呢
be
也可以
applied
用
in other
这样的
scenarios,
机器来进
be it in
行
production, in daily life, and in other uses. And it is also a great practice for the accurate design of other industries.
这边我们还看到了一个是我们的一个人工
The
智
final
能的一
target
个
is improve the efficiency of our
比赛的
work
导
and
览
life.
我们有工作人员能给我们解释一下吗？咱们这个
Let's
现
move
在
to
这
the
个
next
可以使用吗？
side. And we have a navigation system, so I'm going to ask one of the staff to give me more tips.
赛的一些相关事项。
这是好像是一个导览的这么一个是吧？
It's
我
going
我
to
都要来
give
这
you
边了解一下他们这
introduction
次比
upon
赛
the
或
names
者
of
是
the
这个
companies
场地啊，或者是
and
人
all
物
the
该怎么样和
competition
它进行一个
schedule.
沟
It's
通呢？
like a navigation
这个还是
panel
吗？
if
我来
I'm
演示一下
going
好吗？
to understand more detailed information such as the conference rooms,
咱们
competition
了解一
rooms,
下咱们现在的这个
or
整个
more
比如
detailed
说
schedules. How
赛
can
场
I
的位
do?
置啊或什么的，它可
Oh,
以
you
告诉我
can give it an order. Here's a
或者是赛
microphone.
程啊什么的
I
它可
want
以
to see the
这个导览可以
positioning
直接
and
问他嘛
places of
还是
competition
通过什么
rooms.
方式能够问他
or the schedule, the timetable. Yes, we could do that. You could ask the panel question. Would you show me how can I do that? How can I get to certain competition room? Sorry, it is not well regulated and adjusted. Now let's move a little bit. We have different types of AI equipment and facilities. AI has come into our daily life, not only in the Go game, but also in other applications and scenarios. It's part of our life. Not long ago, Fujian and Fuzhou, the city of Fuzhou, set up the summit, the digital summit, and I saw various applications that the competition won with柯洁and Golaxy.
我不知道大家透过这个摄像头能不能够看到里面的一个情况哈，就是现在我凭肉眼的话是可以看到柯洁，刚才的话柯洁的话很烦恼的挠了一下头，他可能现在也是陷入了苦战，就像刚才孔老师分析的一样，现在可能柯洁的整体形势会比较被动，但是
I do admire the smart of AI, and I also hope that柯洁will take a magical move to fight against the component. And we will show you the
我是说，我这边差不多内容，我
window
觉得
for
现在先停一下，等
explanation.
结束的时候再说。
I'm almost done. We could wait a little bit.
我刚才，对，我是说我讲一下，说我们接下来的话把这个画面交给双视窗中的另外一部分，然后呢由那部分的话来我们看一下现场的
And
这
we
个
will show
戏的
you
一
the
个情况。
explanation window
就收一下，然后你把那个切过去就好了，好吧？
because
那我
they
在
are
结束以
doing
后再
their
说一下，好吧？
explanation.
好的。好的，那么现在的话，这个比赛呢还在继续。那么我们呢现在的话，接下来呢，
Now we're still waiting for the outcome of the competition. And I'll invite you to have a look at the interpretation window for the explanation window. Now柯洁, the human player, is fighting against the Golaxy. The moves are pretty fast, faster than that of the humankind. For each 2 hours, we are going to say 5 minutes of reading. At 4:24 p.m. to 4:22, the competition lasts almost 2 hours. If the 2 components hold tight, if they are running out of the time, we are going to take another 2 hours. As long as they're not going to read the seconds, if they move into the seconds. So I hope that the competition will soon have conclusions. Normally, the computers will take the precision to over 10 seconds. And it's a rare case for the computer to run 2 hours on the computer.柯洁is really outstanding. He has 4 times to get the scores. So he runs 4 global champions. So he's the representative of the humankind, the human player. And I suppose nobody can beat him.
I can fairly say so, but some people may. The AlphaGo from Google, why he didn't choose his first component,柯洁, as the first component. There is a background story. Because of the government issue and the political issue. So some people don't know the background story. If AlphaGo's first competition is held in China, that's not convenient for a Google company. Google company is very special. He needs to take a proper choice. They know柯洁is the most brilliant Go player. But they counted the times of championship. Lee Sedol won for the most of the time. So Google really made preparations for the first competition. Can you explain about that? Sensitive and careful is a familiar characteristic for the southern Chinese people. It's sound like a 做 in Chinese. Zhang Kangkang, one famous film writer, she has a very famous masterpiece. It's named Arrogant Girl. That's 做 in Chinese. So we really thank our audiences for supporting us in this story. But different people have different opinions. And we don't regard everyone's opinions the right one. Same word. To put it simply, sensitiveness. The sensitive people always when I was young, we were told that people are good and nice. And different locations have different dialects, so we can see language has many background stories. smooth. And here is the jump and archery. There is a sorrow here. It's not the special Go language. And some of our young friends here may not know about it. If you know, you can even make the Guinness record. Just take the company financial person as an example. They divide the expenditure budget into different categories. Some are for business, some are for other activities. So that's similar meaning to 藤萝. We can have interactions if you know some professional Go words. You can tell me. If you put the white stone here, you can escape. But if I put this part may lose. So there will be a very large empty area. And from it predicts that the black stones has 85% of possibilities to win. One black stone, one white stone. And one nobi. And the white press the black. The white cuts here. The black cuts. And this black stone makes the white stone uncomfortable or anxious. Black stones are everywhere. As we can sense the anxiousness of anxiety of white stones. It's struggling. And then the white stones fight back. It hopes to take more arteries. We all know the situation is illegal. He won't take Eurasian, so he will fight back. One black, one white. Artery. sometimes time is limited. The current situation is that the white stones are fighting back. It wants to dominate more territory. I changed the tool and would like to use my cell phone, and that move is push.